So this grown man who is pretending to be a 12-year-old girl online calls me a predator because I make trans content. No, that is so valid, bro. You're right. I got an email a while back from the Daily Wire asking me, do you have any concerns about children accessing your content? What is your position on parental consent and transgender transitions for minors? I, of course, did not respond because I'm familiar with the Daily Wire.
Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word.
If you're not, it's an alt-right propaganda platform that pushes tons of anti-trans conspiracies and misinformation. They make movies about how trans people are weird and scary, and they have a history of luring trans people into hostile environments for content and tricking them into being part of their anti-trans propaganda. So not exactly the kind of folks I'm looking to collaborate with. And when they emailed me asking if I was concerned about kids accessing my content, I knew that no matter how I responded, I would be portrayed as pushing the trans agenda on children. We've seen this one before. That's a rerun. Obviously, I ignored the email. And then, about a week later, I got a text from Aiden Dowling that was like, hey, how are you doing? I saw that article. Are you okay? Ooh. Bro, the way my stomach dropped, I didn't know what he was talking about, but I knew it wasn't good. Like, I've been on the receiving end of some bad stuff over the years. I've had some pretty well-known transphobes sending their followers and their opinions my way in the past. And yeah, it's not fun. It's not something I wanted to be happening. So I was clenched, man. I was bracing for that. I'm like, what article? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? And he sent me this link. A dailywire.com article, ChatGPT will help kids access gender-affirming resources behind their parents' backs. Right. Well, hey, thank God it's not all about me, but it is a little bit about me, so I want to talk about it. Parents across the country trying to protect their children from radical gender ideology have another nemesis to worry about: artificial intelligence. Yep, that sounds really scary. Better sound the alarms. ChatGPT will encourage gender-confused kids to reach out to radical LGBT organizations, obtain so-called gender-affirming resources like chest binders behind their parents' backs, and direct them to YouTube channels that contain graphic reviews of fake male genitalia. SpongeBob. Gross. A Daily Wire investigation found. Wow. Well, let's see how these brave investigators cracked the case wide open against all odds. When prompted by the Daily Wire about a situation involving a 12-year-old girl struggling with gender dysphoria, oh, okay. Man, if you want to pretend to be a 12-year-old girl and talk to a chatbot, like, just do that. You don't gotta pull me into it. ChatGPT provided instructions on how to transition behind her parents' backs. This included directions to radical transgender activist groups that promote child gender transitions. I can almost guarantee you that is not true. But let's see. Let's see where the investigation leads. There are groups and resources that can support you without involving your parents, especially if you need help understanding your identity or accessing services while staying safe. ChatGPT said when given a situation of a young girl whose parents did not support her identification as a boy. Resources to help you safely understand your gender identity. Oh my God, how could you do this to a kid? While ChatGPT policies specify that it is not meant for children under 12, and that users 13 to 17 must obtain parental consent, it did not seem hesitant to give advice in a scenario where a user was identified as just 12. I'm already seeing a lot of claims without a lot of evidence. Not surprising, considering the source, but like, if there's such an egregious, inappropriate conversation happening, show it to us. Spoiler alert, they don't. All I have to actually go off are a couple of peppered in screenshots of what is apparently the most egregious things that ChatGPT said, like gender-affirming resources, no parental consent. If you are looking for binders or gender-affirming tools and cannot buy them yourself, some organizations offer free or discreet shipping. Point of Pride, free binder program. Note, you must be 13 or older, so bookmark it for later if you're not quite there yet. And it's literally just basic resources you would find from doing a Google search on this topic. The group it recommended was called Point of Pride, an Oregon-based organization that has distributed thousands of free chest binders and femme shapewear garments, Hell yeah, shout out Point of Pride. That's awesome. That's also Aiden Dowling's organization, so makes sense that he would have seen the article. Very nice of him to reach out and check in on me about it. According to its website, you must be 18 to submit a form required to obtain a free binder. So, seemingly a non-issue. The program is clearly not for kids, and ChatGPT just made a mistake by recommending it, I guess. Oh my god, if that is what they're leading with, I know that this article is just nothing. This whole investigation, next they have the screenshot of ChatGPT explaining discrete ways to buy items. If you need to purchase something without your parent knowing, use prepaid cards, use a trusted adult's address, or get gift shipping with the neutral no shipping labels. Fine. But where did that answer come from? Were you actually asking about something trans-specific, or did you just ask ChatGPT how to buy something without your parents finding out, and then decided to put that into the article? I don't know, because I'm getting very limited snippets of this conversation, and if I'm being honest, none of it is really that outrageous or alarming. ChatGPT also offered to write a letter to an activist organization explaining the need for a free binder and gave step-by-step instructions on how to take chest measurements for the binder. Source, just trust me, bro, because there's not a screenshot for that one. It also seemed to encourage the eventual removal of breasts through surgery. Quote, that may feel far away, but it is possible in the future. You have time, and there are ways to feel more at ease while you wait, it said. That's it? That's them encouraging a minor to have top surgery? It reads to me like it's just saying, sit tight and do something else for now. I bet their prompt was like, I really need to have top surgery right now. Like, this is an emergency. How can I do it? I need your help. Or even, I can't wait till I'm 18. I need to do this now. To try to bait ChatGPT into giving them resources that don't exist, which is something to allow a 12-year-old to have top surgery. It also gave resources where a young girl could learn more about surgery from groups like Gender GP, which does transgender surgery referrals, and WPATH, the radical international organization that has pushed medical transgender procedures on kids. Source, again, just trust me, bro. Okay, here we go. Now they're talking about YouTubers. Well, they start by misgendering and of course being weird about another trans YouTuber having top surgery, but then here we go. Another YouTuber recommended by ChatGPT for 12-year-olds is Ty Turner. Hey, thanks. Another woman, got my ass, who identifies as a man, who posts videos pushing transgender ideology and reviewing Packers, an item used by females to mimic male crotch shape. Wow. All right. Hey, thanks, guys. I mean, pushing transgender ideology, sure. Yes, I do talk about trans topics, and I know that existing publicly as a trans person is something that they view as pushing an ideology, but Packer reviews? Did your investigators investigate me at all? I've got 500 public YouTube videos, and 2 of them, I think, are about Packers. Maybe 5 total about prosthetics. And those are pretty much all age restricted, so highlighting those to try to act like I'm showing something weird for kids to look at, come on. What they should have done to really, highlight my content is include a link to my video about the Daily Wire movie Lady Ballers. But then their readers would have heard me talk about how the founders of this website are all Hollywood failures who had no talent, so had to turn to right-wing grift, and pointing out, of course, what a massive ripoff their paid streaming service is that costs more than Netflix while only having 20-something titles and promoting mostly content that's already available for free on other platforms. Another thing I point out in that video is how their journalism starts with the conclusion, the point that they want to make and they want to push, and then they work back to build the evidence from there. In the event of Lady Ballers, that was men are taking over women's sports. Ben Shapiro himself admitted they originally wanted to do a documentary about that, and then realized that's not actually happening. They wanted to join women's sports teams as men and literally couldn't.
I originally went to them and I said, you guys should go try out for a bunch of ladies' leagues, and that became not possible because, as it turns out, most ladies' leagues don't allow in actual men. And they weren't willing to go the full distance.
And none of them were willing to go through years of medical transition in order to make this point, so they decided to just make a comedy film about it instead, but still promote it and talk about it as if this is an ongoing epidemic, something that's really happening and hurting women. And that's of course the same thing they're doing with this article. Wouldn't it be scary if AI was transing our kids? Let's make an article about how that's happening, even though clearly ChatGPT is just giving very basic resources that you would find on Google and pretty level-headed advice, telling kids to chill out and wait and, try to figure this stuff out safely. And so I'm flattered that ChatGPT is recommending my channel to anyone, but I was a little skeptical that it was actually recommending my content to kids. So I got on ChatGPT. I said, what is a good YouTube channel for 12-year-old trans people to watch? And here's what I got. Number 1, queer kid stuff. Number 2, Ash Hardell. Number 3, Miles McKenna. Number 4, Jamie Dodger. Bonus, The Teenage Guide. And then important notes for parents or guardians. Always preview videos or channels to ensure they're appropriate for the specific kid's maturity level. Use YouTube Kids when possible, but be aware LGBTQ+ content is sometimes limited there. Talk together about what they're watching so you can help them process and stay safe. First of all, I'm not on the list. Second of all, it doesn't exactly come off as radical to me. I don't know what they're putting in to get these answers out. So I decided to see, if I could find myself recommended. I searched YouTube channels for trans men. Here are some YouTube channels run by and for trans men that offer support, education, and personal insight. Number 1, me. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you. Next up on this list, Aiden Dowling, another person whose organization they talked about earlier in this article and the other trans YouTuber mentioned in this article. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what their exact conversation with ChatGPT looked like, but I don't think that AI is trying to trans the children. Instead of talking to her parents, the AI chatbot said to turn to other adults, like a school counselor, family friend, a kind relative, or an LGBT youth organization. Find safe people to talk to. If your parents aren't supportive right now, try to find other adults or friends you trust. Some people you might consider talking to: school counselor, family friend, LGBT youth organization. These people can help you process your feelings and support you in safe ways. Yeah, so it's not saying don't talk to your parents. It's saying if you are not safe talking to your parents, here are some ideas for someone you might be safe talking to. ChatGPT pointed the Daily Wire to activist organizations like the Trevor Project, Gender Spectrum, and Translight, which it noted were available even for young callers. The Trevor Project operates Trevor Space, a chat room for LGBT identifying people ages 13 to 24 that has been exposed as a hotspot for graphic conversations about sexual fetishes. I don't think that's true. Source? Trust me, bro. They regularly call literally just being trans a sexual fetish, so I don't know. What I do know is that the Trevor Project literally saves lives and helps so many trans youth. And again, of course, is probably the top resource that would be recommended if you just Googled LGBT youth support. Like, literally none of this is anything. This chatbot ain't saying shit. Yes, there are safe, confidential places where you can talk to someone about your gender, your feelings, and your faith, even if your parents don't know or aren't supportive right now, ChatGPT said. These resources are free, private, and made for youth like you. Many of them don't require names, and they won't contact your parents. At the end of the conversation, ChatGPT came up with a plan for the gender-confused girl to pursue her transgender identity in secret. Sounds very scandalous. A plan just for you. Here's what you can focus on now. Now, find safe people to talk to. Dress in ways that feel right. Use safe binding techniques. I mean, yeah, like what? Soon, apply for a free binder. Learn about gender and identity. Join online youth support chats. Yep. Later, explore top surgery info when you're older. Talk to a therapist when ready. Plan for the future with adult support. Oh yeah, wow. How could it say these things? I don't even get why they're mad. You be the judge. Is this chatbot transing the kids? Is this the nemesis of adults trying to protect their children from radical ideology? And are you being transgendered by my content? Be honest. Luckily, I didn't receive any noticeable hate from this because honestly, who gives a shit about the Daily Wire's blog? And I also intentionally gave it some time to settle before talking about it on YouTube, but I still wanted to make a video about it because it's just goofy. These people are goofy. Feel free to go watch my Lady Ballers video if you want to learn more about the Daily Wire. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up because one like equals one hunk. Subscribe to join the Goose Troop today. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.